Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Pro Take here on 88.7 FM WRHU, Radio Hofstra University. I'm Chris Linney, and alongside me today is the lead sports anchor for CBS 13 and was mistaken for Josh Allen for being live during the Tahoe Invitational, Jake Gadon. Jake, it's a real pleasure having you on the show today.
Chris, appreciate you having me. Hope you're doing well.
All right. So the Sacramento Kings have definitely been on the rise throughout the past couple of seasons. But after last year losing to the Pelicans in the play-in game, the Kings might have gotten better with the signing of DeMar DeRozan. So what does this big sign-in trade mean for the outcome of this team now that they get a good veteran presence to mentor the younger guys?
I think it's an interesting trade, and it's a move that's going to make the Kings a much better team in the Western Conference. Last year, you saw the Kings team come off an historic season and not make any major moves to the roster, especially in last year's offseason. This offseason, a much different story when you look at this team. They've been in the hunt for a lot of big trades this offseason. They've been in conversations with Brandon Ingram, Lauri Markkanen. But when the conversations with DeMar DeRozan arose, it really looked like it would be kind of a perfect fit. And bringing DeMar DeRozan in, like you said, is a great thing for the Kings when it comes to veteran leadership. He's a guy that's been there and done that in a lot of different ways for different teams around the league. He's also a guy that can go get a bucket when needed, something that the Kings definitely did not have at the end of the season last year, especially when they had injuries to Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter in the final 20 games of the season. DeMar is going to bring that great veteran presence, like you said, off the court as well. He's known to be mentoring a lot of young stars throughout the league, and it's kind of cool. He actually was able to be a teammate with Anthony Carter when he was a rookie with the Raptors, and it's come full circle where he'll now actually be a rookie or be a veteran for rookie Devin Carter, the rookie that got drafted 13th overall by the Kings. But overall, a big signing. I think it really helps the team in terms of their offensive output. Defensively, DeMar can cover 1 through 4 of the positions. I think this is a move that can push the Kings right back into that playoff conversation, especially trying to avoid the play-in tournament, which they had such tough luck with last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a disappointing loss to the New Orleans Pelicans there. But also in the NBA draft, the Kings selected another young stud, Devin Carter from Providence. Do you expect him to potentially make an immediate impact with this team?
No, I don't expect immediate impact. He actually got shoulder surgery last week to his right shoulder. It was an injury that they knew about prior to the NBA draft that he had in NBA workouts. I think Devin's going to be out, believe 6 weeks was the report. So he'll probably be available close to January or February, 1/3 of the way through the NBA season. It's tough for a rookie when you don't get the training camp and don't get the reps early on and don't get to work in with the veterans as a rookie in the first couple of weeks of the season. We'll see how much of an immediate impact that he has. I will say this, though, Chris, he will have a long-term impact. This guy is going to be one of the better bench players that will come off of the Kings bench. He could even be a guy that could drop at least, 14 to 18 points a night if you need it. But this guy is a straight dog, especially on the defensive side of the ball, something the Kings are looking for. They want really good defensive guards, and this guy is a 3-and-D type of guy, and I truly believe he'll be in the league for a number of years, especially with the Kings.
Absolutely. I watched him in college the last couple of years. He did an amazing job for that Providence team. Now, do you expect players like De'Aaron Fox, who had an amazing season last year, to get even better when paired with the DeRozan for the majority of the season?
I don't know if he'll get better. I think it will take a lot of pressure off of him, especially with DeMar and the command that he'll have in that offense. Last year, you saw, especially at the end of the season, teams were double teaming De'Aaron at the end of the season because there wasn't a second option for the Kings to go to. Harrison Barnes wasn't that. Keegan Murray wasn't that, and Keon Ellis wasn't that. So I think with the addition of DeMar, I think it takes the pressure off of De'Aaron, which may elevate his numbers in terms of how many points he scores, how many assists he has. But overall, as a player, DeMar is great. De'Aaron is great. Them together, I think, is going to be a deadly combo. And you got to throw in Domantas Sabonis. He's the guy that makes this whole choo-choo train go. and Sabonis is going to lead the offense this upcoming season. So we'll see how both those guys, work with Domas when it comes to De'Aaron and DeMar.
Absolutely. Domantas Sabonis, great on both sides of the ball. Now, after a disappointing season last year with the Kings losing in the play-in tournament, do you think they will be able to bounce back and potentially go on a deep run in the playoffs this season?
I do. I think they are going to bounce back. I think this is a top 16 in the Western Conference right now, and I don't think they're done building. I know they're halfway through the offseason right now, and I believe that they're a number, maybe a piece or two away for becoming a really dominant force in the Western Conference. I'll keep an eye on a couple of trades that they've been rumored to do when it comes to Lauri Markkanen, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, to name a few. I think Cam Johnson as well, when the Brooklyn Nets is somebody to look after. I think this team is going to be better this next year. Now, make noise in the Western Conference. That's really tough. I think this is a second-round team. I can think they can beat, depending on the matchup, they can win that first-round matchup. But when you're talking teams like Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Denver, those are some really tough opponents, especially with some really good superstar players when it comes to Anthony Edwards, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Those are all-star guys. If De'Aaron Fox can get to that level this next year, then maybe the Kings are in that conversation. But right now, I think they're just a threshold below that.
All right. Now, is there anything else you would like to add?
I just think the Kings are really in an interesting situation right now. When you look at this offseason, they made their big move with DeMar. They moved off of Harrison Barnes and got away from that contract. I think it's really interesting to see what roster they have into the season. I'm of the belief that they're going to make another move and another trade this offseason. I think they're really guard deep right now when it comes to Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Keon Ellis, Kevin Huerter, Devin Carter, Colby Jones. A lot of guard play, not a ton of forwards. Their deepest forward is Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles right now, and Jalen McDaniels. I think that they're going to have to make another move this offseason to acquire another big man or a stretch forward to really be a type of team that can consistently be competitive in the Western Conference. I have the greatest outlook on the Kings, though. They have the best fans in the country, and I truly believe when they get back inside of Golden's One Center come August, this will be a better team than it was last year, and they'll be in the playoffs come the end of the season.
All right. Now, that is all the time that we have for today. Alongside Jake Gadon, I'm Chris Linney. Now let's send it back to our hosts in the WRHU studios for some more sports talk here on the Pro Take on 88.7 FM WRHU.